Hello, today's news. Khalistan, result of soreness in Canada-India relations will be visible on the market, impact may be visible on pulses. According to the report from India to Canada Economic Impact and Engagement, released in May 2023, Indian companies play an important role in the Canadian economy. It was reported in the report that Indian companies have invested 40,446 crore rupees in Canada. Indian companies are providing more than 17,000 jobs in Canada. Tension is increasing in the relations between India and Canada regarding Khalistan. Canadian PM Justin Trudeau has announced to stop the trade mission with India as soon as he returns to Canada after G20. Without any reason, he announced the decision to postpone the trade treaty. If Canada continues to have the same attitude in the future, its impact will be visible on the trade of both the countries in the coming days. Deteriorating diplomatic relations between the two countries may have an impact on India's capital market, as Canada is the seventh largest investor in India. According to NSDL, Canadian investments in Indian markets stood at 1.77 lakh rupees crore at the end of August 2023, including 1.5 lakh rupees crore in equity markets. The increasing tension between Canada and India has increased the concern of the business world. Due to the increasing tension in relations between the two countries, huge investments may be affected. This could cause harm to the Canadian economy. More than 30 Indian companies have invested in Canada. If relations between the two countries deteriorate, the business of these companies will be affected. There may be a big crisis regarding employment in Canada. The economy there may shake. A large number of jobs have been created in Canada because of Indian companies. If these companies close their business from there, then Canada's problems may increase. Such are the trade relations between the two countries. According to the report from India to Canada Economic Impact and Engagement, released in May 2023, Indian companies play an important role in the Canadian economy. He had released this report, in which it was told that Indian companies have invested 40,446 crore rupees in Canada. Indian companies are providing more than 17,000 jobs in Canada. Indian companies doing business in Canada have talked about increasing investment there in the next 5 years. Most of the companies are planning more hiring. If tension increases between the two countries, it is obvious that companies will withdraw and Canada's economy will be affected. Canada has also invested in India. From the year 2000 to March 2023, Canada has invested approximately $3,306 crore in India. Canada is the 17th largest foreign investor in India. According to the report, Canada's total investment in India is more than 1 lakh rupees crore. Canada Pension Fund has invested in many banks including Kotak Mahindra Bank, Zomato, Paytm, Nykaa, Infosys. If the tension between the two countries affects business, then these Indian companies will also be affected. What does India buy from Canada? India imports goods like pulses, newsprint, coal, fertilizer, pulses, wood pulp and aluminum from Canada. If the dispute increases between the two countries, then India can import all these goods from other countries also. India purchases the most pulses from Canada. If we talk about consumption and production, India consumes 230 lakh tons of pulses while the production is less. In such a situation, India buys it from Canada. However, for this India has the option of other friendly countries. India is not dependent on Canada for these goods. India exports these goods to Canada. India exports diamonds, gems, precious stones, pharmaceuticals, ready-made garments, unstitched garments, organic chemicals, light engineering goods, iron and steel to Canada. More than 600 Canadian companies are operating in India. If relations with Canada deteriorate, jobs and business will also be affected. India buys agricultural and horticultural products from Canada. In Canada, this business is mostly dominated by Punjabis of Indian origin. If trade between the two countries is affected, it will directly hit people involved in agriculture and horticulture business in Canada. Trade relations with Canada. Trade relations between India and Canada have been good so far. India has been Canada's 10th trading partner. Import and export between the two countries are almost equal. In the financial year 2023, India exported goods worth $4.11 billion, i.e. about 34,000 crore rupees to Canada. At the same time, India's import from Canada has been $4.17 billion, i.e. a little less than 35,000 crores. There was a trade of $7 billion between the two countries during the financial year 2021-22. Whereas in the financial year 2022-23 there was a trade of $8.16 billion. However, Canada's dependence on India for trade is greater.